All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakodash. Double honors to my apostles and my elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to all you Akim out there preaching this truth throughout the four corners of the earth with truth and sincerity in your hearts and for the love of the gospel. All right, I'm the brother Shamaryah, coming to you from the Great Millstone branch, Gary, Indiana, with another lesson. All right, this lesson is going to be titled "Do I Believe?" And don't worry. All right, because worrying and fear is doubt, and doubt entails disbelief. All right, now we're in the flesh, of course, so the thought is going to come into your head, but we must combat that. All right, just as Yahweh Shai combated Satan when he fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. All right, so we must combat Satan in the same manner. But it's going to be a point in time where, I'm not speaking like I'm an elder or anything, but it's going to be a point in time because I know all the brothers suffer the same things, and I've suffered it. You lose your job, you fall on bad times, you're consistently asking brothers for help as far as finances and getting around because it's just Satan. Satan attacks your job, he attacks your car. It's when it rains, it pours, and he's just wearing at you. He's wearing you down, wearing you out. And when you look up that word, I'm going to read the scripture real quick. And this is a real touchy topic for me because you got to fight. You got to fight, man. You got to fight Satan, and that's ultimately what the Lord wants you to do. Like when the Lord casting Satan upon you, when he's telling Satan to jack you up, and Satan is all over your car, all over your woman, your children, your house, especially all at the same time. The Lord just wants you to get closer to Him. The scripture says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all else should be added unto you." This is the book of Luke. It's 22 and 31. I just wanted to get a word. 32, 31. I'm gonna get that word. Trying to put this on Do Not Disturb. Do Not Disturb. Okay. So it says, this is Luke 22 and 31. It says, "And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not. And when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren." All right, let me get the word sift. It says, Satan has desired to sift you as wheat. Let me get that word sift, right? That word sift, it goes into to sift, to shake in a sieve. The second figurative, it says, by inward agitation, to try one's faith to the verge of overthrow. So it's gonna be rocky, man. He's gonna try your faith to the verge of overthrow. And he's gonna try you in areas that he know that you're sensitive in. All right, but it's all to toughen you up. It's all for your betterment, But sometimes you can get so low and you start to question or doubt or waver or worry. Man, how am I do this? How am I do that? And you gotta question yourself. Then, do I really believe in the Lord? If I did, then I wouldn't have to worry about these things. I would just have to keep on doing what I'm doing according to the Spirit. But that is an ideal world. But sometimes it doesn't always work that way. So you have to pray and you have to fast because this demon is on you. He's attacking your car, he's attacking your finances, he's attacking your children and your life and your household. You constantly have to ask brothers for different things, variety of things. But this is all to better you. And you know that you believe when you are pressing toward the mark. You're doing the things spiritually that you need to do to get through this. I had a couple scriptures that I wanted to get. This is the book of Hebrews 11 and 6. It says, "But without faith, it is impossible to believe. Believe. Without faith, it is impossible to please Him." All right, so you got to have that gift. And not only do you have to have the gift, but you actually have to build on that gift. The gift is like It's like the parable of the talents. All right, the Lord gave you a gift. He gave you some money, and you have to go and flip that money. You know, you can't just sit on that money. You got to go and flip it. You know, you can't just, faith is a gift, but you actually have to exercise that gift. You have to nourish that gift like a plant. You have to water that. You have to water that gift. That gift isn't just it's like a dog. You can't just have a dog and just let it sit in the house. You got to go and walk it. You got to buy food to feed it. You got to work so you can afford the dog. Take it to the vet and get its nutrition. You know, see what the dog need. Not all dogs need the same thing. You know, see what's good for the dog. It's like faith. You gotta see what works for you. See certain things. You know, if at first you start off as a follower. You know, we're all followers, but first you start off as a mimicking, and what's the word I'm looking for? You just start off as a not intimidator. You mimic after your leaders. Imitation. You imitate. I don't know why I kept thinking of intimidation. You imitate, and you imitate, but you have to find out what's good for you, what works for you after you grow for a while. So faith is that gift that the Lord wants you to work at. So you have to, and this pleases Him. So without faith, it is impossible to please Him. For he that cometh to Yahweh must believe that He is, and that He is a rewarder of them that diligently seek Him. And these are all important things. When you have to diligently seek Him, you can't just do it when you want to. And I'm guilty of that. And a lot of brothers, every brother is guilty because we all suffer the same things. We all suffer from one thing or another. The scripture says we all suffer the same things alike. You know, so to get out of that spirit of slothfulness, to get out of that spirit of being not disciplined, to be diligent in Him, man, you gotta pray and you gotta fast. You know, fast from the thing you like the most, the thing that you're doing the most. Scripture says, examine thyself, whether you be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves? All right, it says, read it again. It says, for he that cometh to Yahweh must believe that He is. So if you coming and praying to Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, you must believe that He's going to do this for you. Or he might not do exactly what you asked Him to do, but He's going to deliver you. At the very least, He's going to deliver you. He might not deliver you in the time you want Him to, or in the way you want Him to, but He's going to come for you. All right, because when you read in the Apocrypha, Sirach, right, Sirach 2, it says, I don't want to butcher it. Sirach 2 and 10, I believe. Sirach 2 and 10, it says, look at the generations of old. Actually, I started one. Sirach 2 and 1, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. You have to be tempted. Why? To make you stronger. It's like lifting weights for a bodybuilder, or any practice that you get into. You're not going to be the best, all right, when you first get into it. But over time, you'll gain discipline and a tolerance and diligence. The more you work at it, you'll start to love it, all right? That's somewhat similar to the temptation. You start to know what to do when Satan comes. You know, set thine heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. All right, these are all instructions that you do when Satan, the tempter, all right, the adversary, when he comes upon you. Cleave unto him and depart not away. It says, verse 3, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thine last end. And that last end is when the Lord comes back and the day of doom is coming. All right. The Lord is He's going to give you that increase because you've been faithful over a little. Now the Lord's going to have you faithful over a lot. You know, He's going to give you that increase in spirit. It says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. Why? Because it's making you better. It's making you better. You know, be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. So when you change to a lower state and your mental and your flesh is eating at you, when Satan is trying to agitate your inward man to the verge of overthrow your faith, you be patient. You keep on practicing the things you're practicing when you were doing good. For it says, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. All right, so you want to be that acceptable man. You want the Lord to mold you like how a goldsmith or a silversmith, blacksmith, they mold metal. to the desired shape. All right. But you want to be molded into that fine man of gold in the furnace of what? Adversity. It says, believe in him and he will help thee. Order thy way aright and trust in him. See, believe in him and he will help thee. You got to believe that the Lord is going to deliver you. You know, you have to know that. You got to know it. And I'm speaking to myself first and foremost that I have to know it. Every man of the Lord has to know that, or else you're not. That's one telltale sign that you may or not be a member of the elect, which we don't know who are members of the elect, but that's a telltale sign if you can't believe. It says, verse 7, ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall. Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good. And it says, and for everlasting joy and mercy. And I know me myself, when I'm in a bad place, man, I tend not to talk. You know, a lot of women be like, oh, you can talk about your feelings, you can talk about. No, I don't want to talk about it. I tend to be silent, man, and just cast it on the Lord, man. Lord, you know what I need. You know what I need before I even need it. And I know this is a test. Baba Kushah, help me pass this test. Help me, give me the spirit to fast. Give me the spirit to pray every day. Give me the spirit to keep feeding the flock. Give me the spirit to keep on practicing the things that I can practice in, Lord. Do not let me fall into despair because of Satan. You know, that's just me though. Some brothers like to talk about it, but me personally, when I'm, what did it say? It says, either fear the Lord, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy. I'm sorry. Believe in him, and your reward shall not fail. You gotta believe that your reward shall not fail, man. You know. It says, verse 10. It says, look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? See, and the answer is nobody. Every man in the Lord that stood stiffly for him. All right, and he was bold against his enemy. He was bold against the He was bold. He was bold, man. Or even when you fell weak, the Lord still came from because why? Because they believed. You know, Scripture says a just man falls 7 times, but getteth up again. How you get up? By acknowledging Yahweh Hashem Yahushua and asking him to help you. Believing in him. You know, hoping for good. That's how you get up. But the Scripture says, but the wicked shall fall into mischief. So at one adversity or one mishap, all right, he's going to fall back into mischief. He's going to fall back into wickedness. You know, I got the Luke. This is the book of Matthew 6:33. It says, but seek ye first the kingdom of Yahweh and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. So the Lord is he's already willing to give you his good pleasure, but you have to earn it, man. You got to earn it because you have done nothing to receive the gift of faith. So you got to earn. You have to earn what the Lord is going to bless you with. You have to know that you have the discipline or the wherewithal to maintain what he blessed you with. It's like money, for instance, like money. The Lord's not going to bless you with a large lump sum of money if if it's going to draw you away from him. So what he's going to do? He's going to give you what you need in the time that you need it. And he's going to afflict you. But the scripture says what? Make me neither poverty nor riches. Proverbs 30:8. It says, remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me. So you want the Lord to feed you with food convenient for you. Why? Because it's going to go into it. At least I be full and deny thee and say, who is the Lord? Or at least I be poor and steal and take the name of the Lord in vain. Because you believe, you say you believe in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, but you're doing the opposite. All right. So this is why you want the Lord to feed you with food convenient for you. And food also goes into substance. Give me substance convenient for me. Give me not too much. Give me not too little. Because we are trying. We have to rehearse the righteous acts. We're all rehearsing. And Satan, and while we have time to please Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Satan is on the prowl. He's on the prowl. When the lion prowls, he prowls. He's looking for prey. He's a prowler. I'm going to get the book of Jeremiah real quick. This is also on my mind to get. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 6 and 16. Because this is what we're doing, man. Because when we fall into diverse temptations, man, and we fall into the tempters that's got us in a trick bag, and it seems like nothing's going right, and every month you gotta, like, I'm $200 short on my rent, I'm this short on my rent, brothers, help me, because that eats away at you, and you have to pray to the Lord that the Lord got you for hope, for mercy, for faith, because Satan is trying to weed it out of you. The book of Jeremiah 6 and 16. Thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths. Where is the good way, and walk therein? Ye shall find rest for your souls, but they say, we should not walk therein. They said, we should not walk therein. See, we're the ones asking for the old paths. We're like, okay, what did our forefathers do? What did Abraham do when he was tempted? All right, what did the judges do when they were tempted? What did the Lord do when he was tempted? So we got to commit those same acts. We got to do what they did, because the script, we just got it in Ecclesiastes. It says, look at the generations of old. When did I ever forsake anybody that trusted in me? And the answer is nobody. Even if they perished, the Lord said every hair in your head is counted. The scriptures, Wisdom of Solomon said, in the sight of the unwise, they seem to die. Their departure is taken from misery. But really, they have hope. So we have to remember these things, because the Lord said, well, I'm not going to give you too much that you can bear. The Lord is a good Lord. It's the book of 1 Corinthians 10. Sorry, it's 2 Corinthians. No, it's 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. There have no temptation taken you, but such as common to man. So what you're going through, man, you're not the first person to ever go through it. Other men have made it out your situation and worse. Although it may feel like, because what the Hebrews 12 say, Hebrews 12 talks about how no temptation, no chastising seems joyous but grievous, but yet yields to people peaceable fruits. Yeah, chastising is supposed to hurt, just like how you lift weights and you want to get stronger, it's supposed to hurt. It says, no temptation is taking you, but such is common to man, but Yahweh is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. See? It says, it's faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able. So he's not going to put too much on you that you can bear. But if you fall out because of the temptation is on you, then that's just because you fit the parable of that one seed that was sun scorched, that couldn't abide the fiery trials, or or the seeds that by and by you were offended, the one that fell into the thorns and thistles, got choked out because of the cares of this world. It says, but will with temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. See, the Lord will give you a way of escape that you can bear it, man, and you become stronger, because he's the good teacher, the marvelous light. So you have to believe in him, and he'll come for you. That's why I titled this, Do I Believe? And don't worry, the Lord will come for you. You have to believe that the Lord will come for you. He's a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. I'll close up with this Romans real quick, since I mentioned that is it 15? Yeah, it's 15 and 4. This is Romans chapter 15 and 4. It says, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. See, all those trials that our forefathers went through, everything that is written in the scriptures, they're written. Why? It says for our learning, so we can learn from them. So we're put in these tight positions when Satan the tempter comes upon us. The Lord sent Satan upon us. Why? So we can learn. And we through patience, suffering, the word patience means to suffer, it says in comfort of the scriptures. So you read the scriptures to give us comfort, to give us hope, that we might have hope. You read the scriptures to give you increase, to give you comfort. The scripture, the Lord, Yahweh said, I will not leave you comfortless. He left us the comforter, the words of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, which is the entire book. And we must, we gotta eat this. We gotta eat this in order to be satisfied, man. Even in the hell, even in the hell, which is made for us to be better. It's a sifting agent to choke out the weak, and only the strong shall remain. All right. But Lord willing, man, this lesson was edifying to the elect. And till next time, I want to say shalom.